Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Black Spinner Music Podcast. And joining me today is Jerry Soupy from the BS Sessions with Mark, Jerry, and Charles Trainer, and also from the Freeform Rock Podcast. Today's how's it going, Jerry? You doing all right?
I am doing great, man. Excited to do this, man.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good episode. What we're going to do is we're going to give our top 10 albums that were that went from classics and then they released Clunkers. Now there could be different reasons why Clunkers came out. It could have been a band put so much good stuff on their one album that they couldn't deliver on the album afterwards, and then there might be a clash of the band members, where maybe one band member was no was able to get more power than they should have, and it resulted in a clunker. It could have also been that the class was such a big hit that they were still touring and they recorded it on the road. There's so many different reasons of why clunkers would come out after a classic album, and also all that I pick are going to be from big time bands and some of our favorite bands. And when a band has been together for over 20 or 30 years and released a lot of albums, some clunkers are going to come out. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to go from 10 to 1. I went from, well, I want to say favorite clunker to the worst clunker,
Okay.
but we'll see which way we go. Jerry, what do you got for number 10, man?
Yeah, I just want to say that, this is my opinion on Clunkers. I mean, the
Yeah,
Clunker could have sold more than the great album that I'm going to say. So this is basically just my opinion on what's a Clunker or not.
right.
But I'm going to start with one of my favorite bands. I'm a huge Styx fan. Okay, and all their career they wrote within themselves. You know what I mean? But lately, Tommy Shaw's been um, going out to extra writers, and their album "The Mission" a few years ago, they added some guy Will Ivankovich. He helped him. He was in a few of Tommy Shaw's bands, and
Yeah.
he wrote a lot of the songs on it. But it wasn't that bad. That one was okay. But then a couple of years ago, they released an album, "Crash of the Crown," their last one that they did, and there was just too much of that guy and a lot less of Sticks. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I did not like that album at all. Me and Mark get into clashes about that album all the time, but I just not like it. And it's really rare because I like just about everything Styx has put out. I really am. I'm a huge Styx fan, but that last album, man, is just. But I've listened to it a lot of times, and it's just not Styx to me, man. So it was very disappointing, and I hate to say that, because I love the band. I love Tommy Shaw. I'm a huge Tommy Shaw fan, but that's going to be my number 10.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that because I was pretty excited about this last six to come out because the second to last was really good. They were really rocking on that album. But you're
Yeah.
right, this last album was a little bit too much. I didn't know why. I didn't know that there was another outside writer like that
Mhm.
because you know it more than I do. So I didn't know that. But there was a feel that someone had taken the reins away from Sticks,
Yeah.
and you can hear it.
Yep.
I'm gonna start off with the classic album being
Great album.
ACDC's the great album. Um, for those about to rock, we salute you. It's a really good album, and I have not been doing show until lately. I've been very lazy about that, but
Me too.
today I say, you know what? I'm gonna pull
Yeah.
my stuff out so that we can see the difference. But the clunker that I think it is, and this is still an okay album, but it's not what I expected afterwards. It was gonna be Flick of the Switch.
I like that album, but I hear what you're saying. It was not as
Yeah,
good as, yeah, I do.
yeah,
I get it.
and you can tell it was the back to basics. Um, um, Young's older brothers and the Youngs produced it without Mutt Lang, and you can tell the back to basics. Everything is white, you know, pretty simple from what they were being so bombastic about. But it was kind of a letdown after for those about
Right.
to rock. We salute you.
I hear
Because
that.
it
Yep.
had so many hits on it, and the album tracks like COD and Evil Walks. It was just such a great album. Inject the Venom, and then you talk about the hits that were released. It's a really good album. So that's why I did that way. What's your
Gotcha.
number 9, Jerry?
My number 9 is another one of my favorite bands, Kiss. Of course, we all know that. I really loved Asylum, dude. There were some great rockers on that album. So I was really excited to hear their next album, which unfortunately was Crazy Nights.
Yeah.
And wow, I mean, I don't know what they were trying to do there, but it's Kiss trying to be Bon Jovi. It just did not work, in my opinion. And with a lot of the diehard Kiss fans, and a lot of the really good diehard Kiss fans think of Crazy Nights as their worst album, and I got to agree with it. It's just not, man. You know, Kiss has always changed with the times. When disco came out, they did a disco album.
Yeah,
and that the hair metal, light pop rock in that time period, like Bon Jovi and stuff like that was going on. But they just did not do it well, man. It's just total letdown. And I was actually embarrassed as a Kiss fan when they came out with that album. And like I said, I love Kiss, so
yeah.
that was a major, major, major disappointment. So that's my number 9.
But you're right. They were so good at changing with the times, even in their 84, 85 period when they did albums like Animalize and Lick It Up. Those were some hard rockers of early 80s hard rock, like what Ozzy was doing at that time with that sound. And then, Asylum is a very good album, but they just got too poppy when it came to Crazy Nights. Now, I haven't heard Crazy Nights in a long time, but I can hear the title track, and it's way too overproduced, way too glossy.
I'm not a synthesizer hater by all means, but just way too much synthesizer on this album. Man. Way too much.
Yeah, especially when you don't really expect it from them.
Right. Yeah.
Because even though they did that disco album Dynasty, they did all that with guitars and bass and drum.
And it worked for that particular era, I thought.
Yeah.
So, I guess you can't strike gold, all the time. So.
Yeah. I mean, a clunker is going to come out every now and then. My next one was, I consider it classic. It's been very controversial in the band's in the fan base of this band, because it all depends on how old you are.
Right.
So the classic that I'm going to pull up is Metallica's Black Album, being the classic part of it, because even though a lot of their fans maybe not listen to them after And Justice for All, but then there were people in junior high and high school, they were introduced to Metallica with a Black Album. And to them that was hard rock, and to me, let's see, I was probably a sophomore when this came out, so I jumped on that. But man, when Load came out, blech, it was. And look how thick this is, man. Look at all that information. Look at them in the back, man. Look at them. They look like Stone Temple Pilots back then. And there's nothing wrong with Stone Temple Pilots. I love Stone Temple Pilots.
Right.
I don't want my Metallica to look like them.
Yeah.
And the songs are okay, but it's so damn long that by the time you're in the 3/4 of the album, you forget that there were some really good tracks at the beginning, because it's already been almost an hour and it's still going. So Load, it's going to be my clunker.
That was that period of the time where every album was long. It seemed like that.
Oh, dude, everything was long in it, and you lost the spirit of the album.
Yeah,
just lost it, man. So that's my number 9, Black to Load. What's your number 8, man?
My number 8 is, I love the guy. He passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. Yeah. I am a huge Meatloaf fan. Not Out of Hell, man. Fucking great record.
Oh yeah, love it.
One of the best debuts ever. And then they followed it up with Dead Ringer, and there was a couple good songs on it. It wasn't a total flop, I guess, but having Cher as the background singer, man, just did not work with that. I mean, and Jim Steinman, what a great songwriter he is. But I'm probably being unfair because Milo did have a lot of vocal issues around that time.
He did.
And Jim Steinman was writing a whole bunch of stuff, so maybe he didn't give 100% to this album. But with the exception of Dead Ringer to Love, and there's one that I can't remember right now. There's really nothing really memorable on that album. Definitely, a fall from grace from the debut album. So that's my number. That's my number 7. And the guy, Meatloaf, man, what a voice, man! What a voice and entertainer and everything, man. It's a shame that we lost him, but life is what it is, unfortunately.
And the thing is that first album by Meatloaf it's just a total classic.
Oh yeah,
beginning and it's beautiful, it's powerful, it's emotional. You go through so many emotions listening to Bad Out of Hell. Yep. And Dead Ringer, it was just trying too hard when Bad Out of Hell was just so organic. It just happened. Yes. That magic just happened on that album. My next one, I think we're at number 8, right?
No, that was number 7. Okay. 10? No, we're number 8. You're on number 8. You're right.
My number 8, I don't have the clunker. I gave it to my uncle because it's a clunker. And he's a big fan of this band. This band, I know I don't talk about them that much, and I really don't, and I really should. I really should, because this album is really fantastic. I'm talking about the classic of being the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. A really good album, man. It's a trip, man. It's a really trippy album. And then the clunk, not really the clunker, because Goathead Soup is really good, but not compared to this monster right here. Not compared to this. And it's like Goathead Soup kind of started a downturn for them. So things popped up with Tattoo You later on in that decade, like almost towards the end of the 70s.
Yeah.
The 70s were a tough time for them, even though my favorite is the Mick Taylor years, because I love Mick Taylor's guitar.
Yes, mine too.
That's my favorite era, but it's the era of Let It Bleed and the others after that. Those were the Stone albums I love. Yeah. And then there's a couple, when they got to Black and Blue and It's Only Rock and Roll, and I love it, which is all right, but it wasn't complete albums like they did before, so that's what my I felt kind of bad making that my clunker.
Yeah.
Goathead Soup, because it is pretty good.
Yeah, we actually did a review on that on Freeform. I really enjoyed that album. But is it anything like Exile on Main Street? Absolutely not. So I hear what you're saying. So
yeah, and it's nothing close to Sticky Fingers and Let It Bleed and A Beggar's Banquet. Those were just in succession were just fantastic. Right. And then we got to that album, and I wanted to do the Stones because they had to be mentioned, but I couldn't get a good pairing of classic to clunker. Yeah. That was the only one I can really come up with, So that's where I could have gone, because I was going to go Goathead Soup and to It's Only Rock and Roll, and I love it, but I didn't think Goathead Soup was the classic enough to put it in that position. I didn't want to let them down. So go ahead, man. What's your next one?
My next one is one of the best debut albums in history again. Talking about Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
Now, I talked to you because I was going to originally pick Use Your Illusion, but it's no problem picking Lies because that album's just as bad in my opinion. So either one, Lies or Use Your Illusion, is nothing, not even close to that debut album in my opinion. like I said, maybe if they combined both the Illusion albums, maybe. But I don't even think there's enough good songs, in my opinion, on to make a complete
Wow.
album.
Okay.
And Lies just, uh, Patience, and I Used to Love Her, and
You're crazy again. I mean, that
yes,
was just on the last album, and now you're releasing it again acoustically. I didn't need to hear it the next
yeah,
year.
it's like, I didn't mind Used to Love Her. That was kind of a funny tune in a way.
Yeah, it was funny, but not.
I understand it's about a dog. That's the rumor about it is. I don't
Yeah,
know that, but yeah, but coming back, either one after Appetite, and granted, that is a huge, huge, huge undertaking to repeat that album. I get
yeah,
it,
of course.
but man, just after Guns N' Roses to me is a one album wonder, and it's a big enough album to have them still be selling out stadiums today. You know what I mean? Uh, But
Yeah,
if they did not have that album and they come out with Use Your Illusion, that type of stuff first, nah, no way they could live off those albums. And their new music, oh man, oh I don't know. Like I said, I love that debut album, but after that, it's kind of iffy for me on Guns N' Roses. So
you
that's my
know
next.
that song that they just released. Um,
I can't
ugh,
remember the name of it.
I forgot the name of it, but the cover of it. Have you seen the cover of the single? It's
No, I have
that
not.
it's that triangle, kind of like I remember that 8 ball that you would shake, and then you would ask, does the girl in class like me? And then the
The
triangle
eight
comes
ball,
out.
yeah. Was it eight
Yeah,
ball or the yeah? Okay.
yeah. Well, that's what the cover is. It's the
Oh, okay.
triangle with the name of the song on there. It couldn't be more 80s
All
than I
right.
could ever
Yeah.
think of. And if
Right.
I
Yeah.
got the 8 ball and if I shook and I said, am I going to buy the next album? I don't count on it. I
Yeah.
just don't count on it because I heard this. I heard the single several times, wanting to like it,
Yeah.
wanting to like it, and I
I
just
I
couldn't.
kind of I kind of like the chorus a little bit, but there's too much ass. I'm going stuff like that in it for me. It's just way over the top for me.
It's just too
Um,
much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
it's like after every line, I was like, dude, I don't understand it. It wasn't cool back then. It's still not cool.
But
Um,
like I said, they're they're definitely feeding their families off Appetite for Destruction, man. Because
yeah.
they're not.
Do
I don't.
you think maybe that I mean, Appetite for Destruction is one of my favorite albums of all time, but man, that was in '87, and they're still touring off that album,
Yeah, they
off
are.
the strength of that album. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it's too much. And
Right.
I'm saying this, but I'm hoping to go see them next month.
But there are a lot of people that like to use your illusion albums. There
You
are.
see, you see, and I am one of them. I
There's
love
nothing
them
wrong.
both. I do love them both. My next one. This is a classic album, and I love this album. Fair Warning by Van Halen. Being the classic part,
Oh no!
this
Don't do
album,
it!
this album kicks ass.
Don't do it! Don't do it!
Oh, I'm gonna do it because I fucking hate Diver Down. Diver
Oh,
Down would be the worst Van Halen album if it wasn't for Van Halen 3. And I try to listen to this all the time because I hear people on Facebook talk about it. Dude, yeah, there are a couple of good songs, but Dancing in the Street, Pretty Woman, Where
Big
Have All
Bad
the Good
Bill,
Times Gone,
Big Bad Bill, Sweet
Big
William
Bad
Hill.
Bill. I do like little guitars. I love little
Yes.
guitars. And
Happy,
Cathedral is a
Happy
pretty cool.
Trails.
You see, I don't like Happy Trails. Why? Why?
Bumpa-dee-da, bumpa-dee-da,
Oh, you see, that's the Ross part that I don't like. I don't like that Ross part can get pretty. You know what I mean? He can get a little
pretentious.
schmaltzy.
Yeah, that's what I love about Roth, though. I mean,
And then also on his solo albums, man, his solo albums can be really strong, and then I gotta sit through Just a Gigolo. Come on, man. So yes, Diver Down. I'm sorry, but I tried to listen to this so many times, and I even heard it earlier this week, trying to really love it, but I just can't. So Diver Down as a clunker for me. Every 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 Van Halen album with Sammy Hagar is better than Diver Down, in my
Okay.
opinion, and it's not even close. What's your next one, man?
My next one, you already touched upon it. Metallica's Black Album and Load. Huge drop off there, man. You know, I like the Black Album. I love it. It's
Yeah,
a great record.
all right. Mm-hmm.
But if I never heard it again in my life, I think I would be okay. You know what I mean? I don't exactly clamor to put it on my turntable. If it comes on the radio or something, I'll listen to songs off it. But you know, that usually means it's a sign of a great, successful album. But then, man, what the hell happened, dude, with Load? You're right. I mean, there are a few good songs off it. I'm probably the only person in the world that likes Hero of the Day. I'm probably the only person that likes that
No,
song.
you're not. You're not.
Okay, good.
Really
I think it's
a really good rocker.
yeah, I love the video. It's a cool little riff to it. As a guitar player, I love it. But but compared to what the Black Album was, man, not even close. And you can put both of those, Load and Reload, together, and it's still not even close to that album.
Oh, jeez, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that one, 100%.
My next one. Oh, hold on. This fell on the ground. Hold on. I know
Actually,
that.
go ahead and talk. I'll be back in 1 second. I'll still listen.
All right. I know that you don't like this era of U2 at all, but I love it. So, my classic album by them is going to be Octoon Baby. This came out when I was probably a junior or a senior in high school or around that time. This was a really good album. Loved it. I remember one of my English teachers had quoted off the song for a class subject, and in fact, it was the song "One" by U2, and she had quoted off of this. I don't think teachers are allowed to do that anymore to relate to their students. That was really cool when she started talking about the Octoon Baby album by U2. I was like, oh, dude, that's really cool that she's talking about it. And then after that, because this was an experimental album, especially after
that's Europa,
Joshua Tree, and then Rattle and Hum. But Rattle and Hum was, live hodgepodge. And so this album was a album that they were experimenting with, but then they with Zooropa here on the set, they just experimented way too much for me. Where they
is that the Lemon Song album?
Does this have Lemon? Yes, it does.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, this has Lemon and Numb, but it does have Stay. Far Away, So Close, which is a really good ballad by them.
Yeah, my cutoff is the Joshua Tree.
Yeah,
and I like the songs after Alan Hum. And see, Angel of Harlem was on there, right?
Yeah.
Desire.
Yeah, Desire was on there.
The Octoon Baby was a follow up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
see, I would want that way. Rattle Hum being the class that then dropped off the Octoon Baby, in my opinion. For you.
Oh, you see, I absolutely. I want to say Octoon Baby is my favorite U2 album.
Okay.
And I will say that. But then, and it's not saying this is bad. This is okay. It's grown on me as I gotten older. But I remember when it came out, I went and grabbed this cassette, and I was telling myself, "What the hell is this? This like for real?" So that's why I still have it there. So what's your next one, man?
My next one is one of the most talked about bands on the BS shows. I'm talking about Motley Crue.
Uh-huh.
Shout at the Devil, man! What a freaking great rocking album that was, dude.
Yeah.
And then comes Theater of Pain. People say they love Theater of
I
Pain.
love Theater of Pain. I absolutely love it.
You put that track to track against Shout of the Devil, it has no chance at all.
Yeah. It's got
Even
some.
Helter Skelter is fucking better than anything off the Theater of Pain, in my opinion.
Helter Skelter is awesome though.
Yeah.
But if we did do a final battle track by track, it wouldn't even be close. But I love it. I do love it.
Everybody's like, "Oh, Home Sweet Home is this beautiful song." Blah blah blah.
I'm that
Oh,
blah 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 guy.
Smoking in the Boys' Room, terrible. I don't even like the original song, so
Smoking in the boys' room is it's a borderline track for me.
but
It is
yeah,
a
I
borderline.
mean, and it got worse. You can actually do a chain of worse to worse to worse because Girls was worse than that one.
Oh
Doctor
yeah,
Feel
girls got bad.
Doctor Feelgood was probably a little bit better than Girls, but not much. But yeah, man, Motley Crue. Oh, just they're a 2 album band for me. You know,
Wow,
I like the Karabi album. It's okay. Everybody loves that album. I just think it's okay. It's not their worst, but yeah. Sorry, I just cannot like Theater of Pain, man. After Shout of the Devil.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of the '94 Motley Crue at all,
Yeah.
at all. But man, I'll probably spend Motley Crue. I'll probably spend Theater of Pain tonight. But I've got this. I'm going stuff in alphabet, so I'll probably pull out the cassette and play that instead. Man,
yeah, my wife said no collecting cassettes. Don't even start. I'm like, okay.
I love it because sometimes I find them for cheap, and there's stuff that I had when I was a kid, and you know.
I used to have boxes of cassettes, and I have no idea what happened to them over the years. Just like my Star Wars figures and baseball cards as a kid, I have no idea what happened to them. They're just gone. I don't know. My mom probably threw them out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got no idea what happened to my cassettes. All I know is I had to start all over, and I don't know why. Yeah. I probably threw them away, and I don't know why.
Right.
Oh well, I got the CD now. Blah, 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 blah. I was so wrong. Man, if I wish that I could have those blank tapes that I used to record off the radio, I wish I still had those, man.
Yeah.
Because there's so many songs. There's so many songs that I hear today, and I'm expecting another song to come out because that's the way that they were recorded.
Right. Yeah, you hear the DJ's voice talking on it still sometimes. Yeah, as the song's playing. Yeah.
I wish I could find them, but my wife still has a couple of them like that. But I want my own. My next one is one of the greatest double albums of all time, in my opinion. One of the greatest of all time, and it came out in the 90s. And this double album was so awesome. Loved it. Billy Corgan was just a master of that guitar, man. And this band was hitting on all cylinders. I'm talking about the classic being Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. I mean, this album was rocking. I know that's a double album, and it kind of lost its steam, but it did not lose its steam until maybe 3/4 down the second album.
Isn't that a different album cover for that?
Yeah. You're talking about the sun and the moon.
Yeah, I thought that was different. Yeah.
But
that was a huge album when it came out. I remember. I was never a fan of it, but it was huge. I remember.
Yeah. I went to this tour too. This is the first time I saw them. Was for this tour. They were on top of the world, man. But after a double album, it's hard to follow that, and they followed it with this album called Adore.
To be honest with you, I never heard a single song off that one, so I couldn't tell you.
And and this is when Jimmy Chamberlain, their drummer, got fired.
Does that have 33 on it? Or is 33 on?
No, 33 is on the second disc of Melancholy.
Okay.
Yeah, the ones that I remember on this one was Perfect. And they also had a track on the Lost Highway soundtrack that was in the vein of this album here. And since they had fired Jimmy Chamberlain, there's a lot of drum machine on here. and the guitars were replaced by keyboards. And that's
Yeah,
not what I expect from these guys. And unfortunately, they will continue this way for a little more than a decade. And
right.
that's where I lost big interest in them.
Well, they fired. He fired the lady too, didn't he? In the band, the bass player,
Yeah, yeah.
Darcy
Darby,
something. Yeah,
Darby, he fired
Darby.
her, and then he fired her later on because when they had reconvened to make another album, I think it was after this one because it was Machina or the Gods of the Machine, and when it was time to record, she hadn't picked up the bass in months,
Oh yeah,
so she wasn't practicing or nothing. She just
gotcha.
nothing. And then when it was time to record, she wasn't up to par to what they wanted. So they just didn't use her on there, and then that that snowballed to. There's a couple of albums where it's just Billy Corgan and other people on there under the Smashing Pumpkins name. But right now, they released another album that's so long again. Ugh. But it's back with Jimmy Chamberlain and with James Zia and other guitar players to fill in the holes. So they
Okay.
have 3 of the 4 back, which is good. And some songs are okay, but dude, the album is over 2 hours long. It's over 2 hours long, man. I was like, what the hell? It's too
Right.
much. If they had
Say
cut
that.
it
Yeah.
down, if they had
Say
cut
that.
it,
But
I'm sorry.
sorry. No, go ahead, man. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you.
Again, if they had cut it down to just a single album, man, it would have been awesome.
Right. Save it for your next album. You know.
Yeah, there's too much, and then the good stuff gets lost in there. Okay, what's your next one, Jerry?
My next one is again one of my favorite bands of all time. Talking about Iron Maiden. What a great album Power Slave was, dude. It's my third favorite Maiden album. Just chock full. Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Power Slave, all kinds of good stuff. And then after that, they did Live After Death, a live album, which I'm not gonna. I didn't count that as their next album because it's a live album. Like, yeah, man, Maiden's on a roll. Then comes Somewhere in Time. Ugh, man, it was a completely different sounding band to me with that album.
Yeah, it was. It was. You're right.
It does have its moments. I love Alexander the Great, man. It's a great song. I even kind of like Wasted Years. It's really radio friendly Iron Maiden song.
Yeah.
But then you got like Heaven Can Wait. Caught Somewhere in Time. Stranger to Strangeland's not bad. Okay, that's not bad either. But man, just what a disappointment from Power Slave to Somewhere in Time. And that's the era when I was just starting to get in agree with my musical taste. I was like, I don't know, middle teens, I guess, when Somewhere in Time came out. And just getting into Maiden, a lot. And I was confused, actually, when that album came out. And I've listened to it a lot since then, and I just cannot.
You can't
It's got its moments, but other than that, compared to Power Slave, I think even Seven Sun's a better album than that. A lot of people shit on that album, but compared to Somewhere in Time, I think Somewhere in Time's worse. But anyway, that's my. I could have won a lot of Iron Maiden because Iron Maiden's with a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
But that's my biggest drop, I think, as far as being an Iron Maiden fan. So.
You see, I'm one that loves Somewhere in Time. I think it's a fantastic album. It reminds me a lot because they follow the template of Peace of Mind. If you will follow me, on side 1 of both albums, they gotta kind of have like not radio hits, but rock friendly tracks on side 1 of both albums.
That's why Steve Harris stopped doing Flight of Icarus in America, because it was like one of the radio friendly hits in America. So he's like, I'm not play that song in America anymore. I think he finally did on the last tour, but he was kind of a dick about that song, so he never played it.
And then both albums on side 2, it started to get a little proggy, but with Somewhere in Time doing it better.
Yeah, Somewhere in Time is a lot proggier than Peace of Mind. Yeah.
And Peace of Mind on side 2, I get bored on side two, A Piece of Mind. But side two of Somewhere in Time, I think it's awesome because I think that it continues on Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. That sound, those epics that they did so well on Power Slave as well, because those are a lot of very big epic proggy songs too on Power Slave. And what we have to say also about Iron Maiden is that they didn't sound like anybody at that time.
No.
They took because they could have gone the MTV route. They could have made videos, and instead they went the whole complete opposite and really um, sharpened their musicianship.
Yeah, they had some terrible videos though. Run to the Hills. What a horrible video that was.
That's so bad. It's like the first talkie.
It's like you said with that Dio video. He's got the sword by the AC unit on top of the building.
My next one, I love this band, but they did make a couple of clunkers at this time. And to me, this is the big drop off. The classic being Defenders of the Faith by Judas Priest. And that's a badass album cover. Badass album cover. I love it. This whole album is really good. This is a good one by JP. And then they come up with this piece of crap. This is the worst, man, that they ever could have done. Turbo. Even
we don't need no parental guidance.
That's a horrible song. I know Mark likes it, but no way. And then even the back is bad. Album cover is bad. Let's see what's inside. Let's see what's inside. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they give us. Okay, the lyrics but even in black and white, it's bad.
Yeah, I actually saw that tour and I was really disappointed with the set list.
And then the sometimes these middle parts of the album are so awesome, but this is just a regular Columbia label on it. But yeah, the clunker for me is Turbo, man. Even the song Turbo Lover they say is one of their big hits. All because they made a video for it does not make it a big hit. The video was dumb. This whole I will talk about a whole package in just a moment. But yeah,
I do like Locked In. That's probably the only song I like on that album.
You know, Rock You Around the World, Wild Nights, Hot and Crazy Days, Hot for Love. No, thank you. No, thank you. That was just too much bad for me.
Yeah, they were terrible with their videos too. Just watch Hot Rockin', man. That's a terrible video.
And they were
sitting there working out. It's like, dude.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That was like, yeah. Okay, what's your next one, man? Go for it.
All right. Oh, here we go. Money time. Money time here. Got to bring it out. Def Leppard. Here it comes. Pyromania, man. Frickin' just loaded with great frickin' songs, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we know what comes next.
You think it's a clunker?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, financially, Hysteria probably blew Pyromania off the charts as far as album sales.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But as a music fan, it was just too overlapped and too many just overlapped, overproduced. I'm a Mutt Lange fan. Don't get me wrong. I think he everything he touches turns to gold. But for this instance, I mean, he did Pyromania and High and Dry, but he totally, just missed the mark with me, Hysteria. And I used to say I liked Gods of War, but then I listened to that song when we did a Def Leppard review. I'm like, why did I like this song? I don't like it. So I don't like really anything. Well, no, I like the title track still, but
oh yeah, that's a really good ballad.
Pour Some Sugar on Me. Oh.
Armageddon.
And I get it. And Joe Elliott said, yeah, we're getting more girls in the audience, which isn't a bad thing. I get it. Okay, cool, But throw us a bone, Joe. Come on, man. Give us something good. And unfortunately, it just got worse and worse after that with adrenalize and slang. And,
Yeah, I was gonna go with Def Leppard too, but I was gonna go Hysteria being classic and the Clunker being Adrenalize
oh,
was the way I was gonna go.
just such a disappointment, man. And oh God, Love Bites. What a horrible song.
Oh, dude! Oh my God, dude!
I'm sorry. I know you said your wedding song. I'm sorry, man.
Oh no, it's not.
I thought you said it was. That was your wedding song.
No, we played "Pour Some Sugar on Me" when we were cutting the cake.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah, but Love Bites is such a horrible song.
Yeah, Love Bites wouldn't be a appropriate wedding song anyway. I don't think.
No, I wouldn't. Okay. But I was gonna say that I love ballads. That
I do too.
Way too much of going way too long. You lose the meaning. It's just a bad song.
That computer's crap in the beginning and the Love Bites and just yeah, whatever the hell that is. I don't mind a good ballad, like you said. I mean, I love Fool. Yeah. Fool is my favorite song by Def Leppard. I guess you can call that a ballad. Yeah, I don't know, ballad, mid-tempo rocker, I guess. I don't know, but more power to them. But these are just way, way, way too many layers on this album for me.
Yeah.
I mean, but to their credit, when those guys play live, they don't sound as bad as you think they would from the album. They still sound good. And they say they don't use tapes. And I kind of believe them, at least back then they didn't. So I give them credit for at least sounding halfway decent live with it because
especially with all the harmonies that go along with it. I mean, they do sound good. After a while, I just got tired of going to go see them. Because they were playing every summer. Yeah. And after a while, you're like, okay, enough's enough.
Oh, can't forget Rocket either. Oh my God, what a terrible song!
Oh, I like Rocket because it gives a little bio of
I get that, but
of English rockers of where they came from. So that's cool.
Just write it down in a book.
I like the way that they cascade down in order. Sgt. Pepper's, Bowie's, Riggy. I do like Hysteria. I think that was a good album. My next one, I love this album. I think it's fantastic, man. Bark at the Moon by Ozzy. Really good album, man. The first one with Jake E. Lee. Even the back is great. This is what I was talking about, the packaging of an album, of what the artist looked like for that tour, what that artist was for the videos. And then a couple years later, they come up with this atrocity of Ultimate Sin.
Still a cool album cover.
Album cover is awesome.
Yeah.
But that's about it for me. There's a lot of people that love this album. I've got a cousin that loves this album. Al loves this album. And I try to listen to it. With me and Diver Down, I am the same way. I try to love it, and I play it, and I try to see what people love about it. I just can't. And then when I go with the packaging of it, he was dressing in sequence in one sequence.
I was going to say he's ready to do a burlesque show or something.
Like he was an extra on Designing Women. He was going on stage looking like freaking Delta Burke. No way.
The Ultimate Sin video was kind of funny. The Dallas kind of
like the J.R. Ewing.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. But I hear you. I do.
And this is awesome, dude. This part right there. Yeah.
Actually, I think probably my favorite Ozzy cover, to be honest with you. I really do.
Oh, there's so many of his album covers I love.
I mean, he's like Iron Maiden, man. They great freaking artwork on his albums, man.
Yeah, and they really put a lot into the packaging. Yeah. What's the inside like? The inside was all right.
Read some songs off there real quick. I'm drawing a blank. Ultimate Sin, Shot in the Dark.
Yeah, and another song that I do like on here is Killer of Giants.
Killer of Giants is on.
That's a good tune,
yes.
But then lightning strikes. Just a toss off pop rock song. Thank God for the Bomb is a good song though.
I
Thank
like,
God for
yeah,
the
I
Bomb.
like the, I like the meaning behind it.
Yeah, Never Know
Cool.
Why, Fool Like You,
Yeah,
Secret Loser. There's just too much filler on this album.
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
But the songs that are good, But yeah,
yeah. The
ultimate
title
never
track's
talking.
probably the hardest song on the album. I think
Which one?
the title track,
Yeah,
it's the heaviest song I think on the album.
yeah. And the rest was just um,
Mediocre.
a mediocre pop metal, which Ozzy has no business doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's the only album that he will delve into that,
Yeah.
because right afterwards he
No
comes out
rest for
with
the
a
wicked.
very heavy album like No Rest for the Wicked. So go for it, man. What's your number? Wow, number two.
Number two, got to go with the mighty Van Halen. I think we know where we're going with this.
Diver Down.
No, 1984. What a great record that was, man. Awesome. It was a little keyboardist. I kind of knew where they were going. I get it,
Yeah.
But still, it had that Van Halen, like Drop Dead Legs, Hot for Teacher, man. That's a classic Van Halen song.
Yep.
I'll Wait was a little, head scratching. It was a catchy tune. Not bad.
That's a cool song. I like I'll Wait.
The only song I didn't like off that album is Top Jimmy. I never cared for that song.
Tom Jimmy.
Yeah. But then we all know what comes next.
Love that. Oh, the rings.
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and bash it for 5 or 10 minutes because it's been talked and bashed about too much.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, man, if you love the Sammy Hagar era of Van Halen, more power to you. Oh man, I just could not get into it. That's all I don't really want to get into a big spiel about it, but
Oh no!
it's just very. I remember I'm like, remember listening to the radio station. Like, here's the new Van Halen song off 5150, and I'm hearing this. Oh my god! Then I hear this. Well, here it comes.
Here it comes.
Oh, right then I knew. I do like Summer Nights off that album.
Oh yeah. And 5150, the title track's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
When was
Like
the
I
last
said,
time you heard that album?
in its entirety.
Yeah.
1992, maybe.
Really? I love that album so much that my email has 5150 in it.
Hey man, like I said, you love the Van Hagar era.
Yeah.
But man, and I get it. It was part of Eddie's fault too. It's not all Sammy. I say that all the time. But man, Eddie was here. Sammy came aboard and just drove him down with him, in my opinion, dude. I don't know. Sorry to all the Van Hagar lovers out there. But
including me, because I love that album. I love 5150.
And that was one of the Sammy's better selling albums with them, I think. I think it was probably his best selling one, right? With them?
I don't know, because Foreign Lawful Common Knowledge.
Yeah, that was a pretty
big album for them. Even though that's the least that I like by them.
Right.
By Sammy Hagar's era.
No, I'm not an all out Dave Nut Swinger. I did not like A Different Kind of Truth. I thought that was a very overrated album, in my opinion.
Oh, you see, I still like that album.
I like maybe 2 songs off it, but it was like again, I was excited about too. Then what do I hear first? Tattoo. I'm like, oh god.
You see, and I like that too.
But like I said, we all have our tastes. So
yeah, and I was reading where Ralph Vieira said that that's not available for stream anymore.
No, it's not. I looked. It's not.
Yeah.
I got the CD.
I got the CD too. And I
missed out
on the album when it was out, but I said, let me just get the CD.
I think that was a Record Day album, a Record Store Day album. I think. But I
So
missed out on that one.
but still, man, the CDs was still very good, and I enjoyed it. My next one, you touched on it.
Oh yeah.
Appetite for Destruction being the classic, and then, but I'm gonna add some more to Lies. Lies is one of the laziest albums I've ever heard in my life. Side one are live tracks. How do you follow Appetite for Destruction, or side one are live tracks from years ago? And
Right.
it sounds like they're doing that still by bringing up old songs. Patience is one of the most boring songs I've ever
Uh,
heard. Even when I was a kid, it was boring. And I wanted to love it. I know it word for word, note for note, but I don't
Shed a
like
tear because I'm missing you.
it. It's just too much, man.
Right to smile.
And that's because I love Estranged. And I like
Oh,
those epic songs on
yeah,
Use Your Illusion ones and twos. I like this though, man. That back part, it's fucking
yeah.
badass.
Live like a suicide, man. That's
Live
some
like a
cool shit.
suicide. I
Right.
want it. Nah, I didn't want to, but
Where'd you get that? How long have you had that Lies album? I'm looking. I would love to have that on vinyl, actually, even though I don't really
yeah,
love it.
I've actually had this like for a while.
Oh, okay.
Like
Exactly.
I don't want to say I bought it exactly the day that it came out because I bought the cassette first because I still have the cassette back here. But I had bought this like I want to say within the past 20 years I found it.
Yeah. I would like to be a completist with them. I just have Appetite and the Two Use Your Illusions, but thank God I only need what Chinese Democracy. But is that even released on vinyl?
Oh yes, it has. Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
but
even
I've
imagine
only
how.
got that on CD.
Yeah, I bet you that's expensive. You try to find that one somewhere,
Yeah,
but yeah. Well, maybe someday I'll be able to get a deal on it.
but use your illusions and the appetite for destruction. I got them at 3 play, which I got the
Hmm.
album, the CD, and the cassettes
Right.
of those. Oh no,
Gotcha.
except for use your illusion too. I don't have on vinyl. I I want to purchase that soon. Sometimes they've got it at Walmart because that's where I found
Yeah.
use illusion one on vinyl. So I'll probably go look for it. I
And
know that
Walmart surprises me every now and then. Every now and then you'll see a really good album there. It's like,
yeah,
whoa,
man.
I
Sometimes
get
you'll
that.
see something you're like, what the heck is this doing here?
Yeah, I've been stocking up on the Beatles albums since it's like, wow, man. I mean, they had just about every Beatles release there.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
and they're newly remastered and all that, so that's pretty cool.
yeah.
All right, Jerry, what's your number one?
Oh, my number one. Oh Lord,
I wonder if it's gonna be the same as mine.
I don't know, but we all know that I'm a huge David Gilmour fan. One of my favorite guitar players. This fantastic album of The Wall comes out. Holy shit, dude! What a great record that is. We don't need to explain it. We know how good it is. And then it's followed up by the final cut. Oh man, what a turd that of an album that was. It has like two good songs on it, but by that time, man, Pink Floyd was just I don't know going through the motions, I guess, or at least the other three guys. Hell, they actually fired the keyboard player before that album, so it was basically a Roger Waters solo album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just this ballady, nasally vocal over symphony crap that followed, and it was kind of getting that way. The Wall, he had the orchestra arrangements on it, but it worked for that album.
Yeah, it did.
Look at those strings on "Comfortably Numb" during the chorus, man. How beautiful that's arranged. Um, but there's nothing. Jeez. The final cut, holy shit, dude! Just so many turns on that album, and oh god, I hate bashing Pink Floyd, but that album it was probably one of the biggest, you know, clunker from a very classic album. That was the first one that came in my head, and I knew that was my definite number one.
Yeah. Well,
People don't like the pre, Water, or the post Waters Floyd, but I do. Those two albums were not as bad as the Final Cut. But,
Oh, not even close to the Final Cut.
I
You're
mean, it
right
was
about that.
just, man, just, and it was, I just don't want to, yeah, it's bad. Not Now, John, good tune. The title track was actually a really good song.
Yeah,
Actually,
it
I think
was.
it's one of Roger Waters' best vocals, to be honest with you.
But
But
again,
after that, yeah, after
it
that,
gets lost in so much
it does.
depressionness, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if depressionness is a word, but yeah.
It's like I get it, dude. You know, you're upset about your father. I get it. Come
I get
on,
it.
dude. We know that. It would have sucked not to know your father like that, but we know.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I said last week about the song D. I get it, but
Yeah.
do we have to hear about it? Well, I know that you love your mom, but man,
Right.
I love my mom too, but I don't bring her on here.
I mean, the wall covered all that perfectly, and I thought it ended well with the wall, the story about all that. But then,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
drive right back over to the Final Cut again. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So
yeah.
that's my number one, and that was the no-brainer for this list. And it was tough. This was not an easy thing for me, but
But
that
this
was the
was
easiest
fun.
one. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. For me, when we decided to do this, I knew what number one was going to be. I just knew it, and then I was going to curate around it. So the classic. So the classic, being the wall. The Wall is one of the best double albums of all time. I forget it's even a double album because it is so good,
Yeah.
so riveting. Um, when I was younger, side four used to drag on for me, but now that I'm older and gotten more into prog and into soundtracks, I really love side four now for all
Yeah.
that they do on there. The judge, the trial,
Trial.
freaking awesome, man. It ends perfectly,
Yeah.
and it builds to that moment. This is another album that can take you on a whirlwind of emotions, and that's what it's so good about it. And then you get this piece of crap, Final Cut. Um, just so bad, man. It just and I've heard it several times, and I followed it by the lyrics, trying to, and I understand the concept of it. I understand what it's about. It's just, you know, if you're having a party, don't throw this album on at all. You're
No.
gonna put everybody to sleep. The possible past is your possible past was another good song that I did like.
Shadow behind you, possible path. Yeah.
Yeah, and Gunner's Dream, but it's and I think Not Now, John, was the only song that Gilmore really came out on.
Yeah, he did the solo on the Final Cut. But other than that, pretty much that was it.
Yeah, and the people that are on here, Michael Kamen, Ray Cooper, Andy Brown, Andy Newmark. Who the hell are these people? Why are they on here?
Michael Kamen's got no. Well, he did do some stuff on the wall too. So, but
but you know what I mean.
yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah,
It definitely was not a Pink Floyd album, in my opinion.
it was just
I mean, they fired Rick Wright. Wasn't even on that album.
No,
they
no,
fired
he
him
wasn't.
before that. It's just terrible.
How can you not have him on here? But they bring him back for the Division Bell, and he even sings on a track. And one of my favorite tracks on there.
Wearing the Inside Out. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great
but
too.
man, this is just a clunker. Every once in a while, I'll throw it on and I'll listen to it. But I don't like Roger Waters solo to begin with.
No, I don't either. Nope. I much rather hear David Gilmour solo stuff. Yep.
Oh yeah, easily David Gilmour being solo, big time. So hey man, thanks a lot for joining me today, Al.
Oh, this is fun.
Tell you, Al. happy belated anniversary to him and his wife.
Yes.
They celebrated an anniversary earlier this week. Alba's going to be with us. But he went to go see the Dead Daisies with John Corabi. Is John Corabi still in there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Is he okay? And so
you have to ask. You have to get with Mark on that one. He knows more about it than I do, but I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah. And Al, happy belated anniversary. I know that you'll probably see this episode in your leisure time. So happy belated anniversary for that. And also next week here on the Black Spinner Music Podcast, we are going to be doing your top 10 plus 5 honorable mentions. No sophomore slumps. Top albums that were the sophomore releases. Their number 2 album. There's a lot of number 2s that were really good, but people always concentrate on the sophomore slumps. There's a lot of number 2s that were really good. So we'll be doing that next week here on the Black Spinner Music Podcast.
Yeah, I'll let you know on I'll let you know on Monday if I'm invited. If you're invited,
all right, that's cool.
I'll let you know.
Oh yeah. Well, the invite's always out there for you, friend.
All right, cool.
What's going on with you tomorrow on the BS sessions? What are y'all doing?
We are doing songs that have anything related to the female pronoun, she, her, madam, or a female name. Our favorite songs with that topic.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
We're doing that, and I'm still doing the free form, and
yeah.
And me, you, and Kate are going to be doing something. I don't want to talk about it too much right now, but we're looking forward to doing that.
So, what album are y'all going to review coming up, or what are y'all going to release Friday?
Friday will be.
Oh wait, y'all are going to release Goat Head Soup, right?
Goat Head Soup, yes.
Yeah, by the Stones.
Yeah, we're not recording this week because Mark's going to be on vacation. So.
Okay.
But we got like 7 or 8 episodes in the back burner. So we're already
that's awesome.
So, yeah, so
that's
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Thank you for being a fan of our podcast, and thank you for all the comments. And I am reading what y'all are writing, so thank you so much. This podcast has been so great. So thank you all for watching. We really do appreciate it. Jerry, thanks a lot for joining me.
Thanks for inviting me, man.
Oh, no problem. And I will talk to you throughout the week. All right?
Yep.
You take it easy, man.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.